All right, let's do this. It is Saturday, January 17th. Let's start. We're going to look at gold, silver, and the miners, and anything else that might come to mind, but that's where we're going to focus on. And we're not going to drag this out. Why would we? But look at this. Gold, new historic high, just another week higher. Settled a week at 45.95. That is from a new historic high of 46.43. Again, RSI 73, we're overbought, but we have been mostly, well, actually maybe 50% of the time we've been overbought since what? Early 24. Weekly momentum's ticking back upwards. Cyclically, we're on the extremely high end. At some point, we're going to get a bearish cross of this little black line and the red line, and we're probably going to like a couple of months down. But of course, in the last retrace, and this is really important, in the last retrace, it really wasn't a retrace at all, really. It was sideways chop, right? It was a consolidation with a really clean bullish pennant. And then we went from 3,500 from the high, well, 3,120 at the low, up to 43.81 in that wave. And then we had another bullish pennant. So it looks like gold is going to go to 5K. It could do it in February, but if it doesn't do it in February, then it's going to do it in March, right? And then gold will be even more prone to retracing, or again could just churn sideways. I'm inclined to see gold probably retrace from 5K to maybe, I mean, hell, maybe it'll even 4,800. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of price clustering around here, so we're not going under this, are we? We're not. Are we going to see sub $4,000 gold? I'm almost I'm almost inclined to actually start to question, are we ever going to see gold go under $4,000 ever again? Which is a wild notion. I mean, for certainly, we're never going to see sub $3,000 gold again, right? It's never going to go under $3,000 probably ever again. First, you're going to go to five, choppy consolidation, sideways chop, whatever. And then off we go to 6 and 7K. I think 7K gold is absolutely viable later this year. And on let's jump to a monthly chart. I mean, look, we're up. Look at this. Just there was one tiny fractional. I mean, this was a consolidation I was just noting. You see the spiky candles, but really it's a bullish pennant. A couple of months down here, but again, look, the declines are really tiny now. What were tiny, relatively. So yeah, 5K gold is clearly coming. Kind of incredible, but hey, we know what's driving this. Silver on a weekly. Look at that. Oh my God. Not, net high for the week by $9.99, 12.5%. I actually do note that Stock Charts has adjusted its prices because I think I had the as of Friday night it was 12.1, but they've changed their numbers a little bit. But anyway, 89.94, new historic high this week, 93.57. We're overbought, but hey, if you assume gold is on a straight run to 5K, it now looks at silver will probably go to 115 to 120 to sync with gold 5K. That's purely based on the notion of gold. If gold is 5K, silver is not going to stop at 100. Silver will be 115 to 120. Again, we are extremely. In fact, we've never ever been this overbought, right? RSI is almost 93, but it looks like February, maybe into March, we're going to get silver to 115, 120-ish. And then the issue is, okay, how big of a retrace? Maybe we'll retrace in silver probably back to 100, maybe briefly 95. Um, very difficult to see silver coming down to even 70 or 60. And I'm saying every week now, I don't. I mean, unless you get some kind of devastating economic deflationary wave, which does not look likely, I don't honestly think we'll ever see silver under $50 ever again. I hope I'm wrong. I honestly do. I hope that somehow there's a reason that gold silver drop off and it comes down because it just makes for a better rebuy, you know. But it doesn't look likely. Firstly, it looks like we're going to go to 115 to 120 within a month or two. And look at all this. This recent run, it just makes all of the. Look at this. It makes the last 12 years of price action just look like micro chop. And for a lot of, for it was quite choppy, although we did swing around in terms of percentages. $11 to $29 that's almost a triple, right? But we're in a new age. This is a new era for silver and gold, and of course all the related miners. So speaking of the miners, do I want to emphasize once more? It does. If there's anything I emphasize more than anything, gold 5K, silver 115 to 120, then probably a retrace of some degree, but more consolidation than anything else. Anyway, let's jump to the miners. We're going to actually start with GDX on a weekly. I mean, look, near strike high, 5% gain. That's appropriate considering gold and silver. On a monthly chart, this $20, 97. Yeah, we're overbought. We have never ever since GDX was first listed in what's that, mid 2006? Yeah, 97. Again, at some point, there's got to be a retracement, but I will note the volume is a lot lower, but of course that's because the price is partly lower. But anyway, let us look at some of the individual miners. Okay, where are they? Let's do it that way. Okay, so let's start with what I call the sector leader, Agnico Eagle. I mean, look at this, 16.5%, 197, nearest strike high 201. Also, I want you to ask yourself a question. If gold is 5K and silver for the silver miners 115, 120, what should the price for this be? So, if gold's 5K, what should this be? 200, 220, maybe 230? It's never going to be this cheap again, is it? Ever. First Majestic Silver. Jesus. I guess we're only halfway through the month. Silver, AG, 29% at 21.50. Hell of a candle, right? Zero sign of a floor. I mean, of a short-term top. And now finally, we're starting to approach the, what's that? What is that? The February 2021 high of 23.69. Remember, I've highlighted it a fair number of times in the last week or so. Back when First Majestic was 23.69, commodity silver was $30. Silver is almost triple that now. So, in my view, First Majestic should be at least 40 to 50. You could even argue it should be 60 to 70. But finally, it's catching up. So if you think silver 115, 120, what are we looking at here? Maybe a little blow off top in February, March to maybe what? Maybe $30. I can see that. Anglo Gold Ashanti near historic high for 16%, $99. Wow, look at that, $11, 99. Again, if you believe gold is going to go to 5K, then what's this, 100, 115, 120? Barrick Mining, new historic high up, almost 12% on the month in the 48s. Gold 5K would probably get this to maybe at least 55, maybe 60 on a stretch. One thing I'm wondering if gold is 7K, whether that's late this year or early next year, this should be at least $100, right? One of the better miners, of course, in the world. Core mining, wow, 26% in the 22s. Big target is this threshold here at 34 to 35. That does look possible in March if silver's around 115 to 120. Clearly, this little high of 23.61 is going to be taken out probably maybe in a week or two. DRD gold, new historic high up almost 17%, $36. You're going to think, okay, gold 5K, what's this? 40, 45, maybe 50 on a stretch. Endeavor silver, 24% on the month. Again, we're only halfway through the month. 1172. We are clearly going to take out the high from 2011. Think about this. 1310, that was back when silver was $49. So silver's almost double that. This should be 20 to 25 bucks. Powerful candle, bullish engulfing. Yeah, this has a good. This has. I mean, if you think it should be at least 15 soon, and maybe 20 in March, assuming silver 115, 120. Franco Nevada, 17.5%. Powerful candle. Look at that. Goldfields, new historic high, 49. Again, if you think gold's going to go to maybe 6 or 7K later in the year, then you can start to think maybe this will be $100. Again, there'll be little swings along the way, little retraces like that one. Heckler mining. Oh my God. It's this. Wow. Heckler mining, 38% on the month so far. $26. Clearly, again, near historic high. Okay, if silver's 110 to 115 to 120, what's this going to be? Maybe 35? Maybe 40 on a stretch. What a run, right? 26. Actually, look at that. Actually, $4. About 9 months ago. Four. What? 445 to be precise. Incredible. Harmony Gold. More conservative, up 9.5%, 2180. New historic high. Again, we're thinking gold 5K, then this should be at least what, 20, probably 26, 27. Kinross Gold, an excellent miner. New historic high up 19.5% in the 33s. If gold 5K, then this should be close to $40. Newmont, arguably the best gold miner on planet Crazy. So 14.3% up, new historic high 114. Gold 5K should equate to at least 125 to 130. Gold 6 to 7K should give you $200 Newmont. Whether that's before year end or early next year, I don't know. But clearly, you know, we're never going to go back down here again, right? Ever. Pan American Silver, arguably the best silver miner in the world. Currently up a relatively minor 6.5%, but that's a new historic high in the 55s. Again, if you're talking about silver 115 to 120, we're probably looking at least 65, maybe 75 on a stretch. More broadly, if you're looking at maybe, you got to ask yourself the question: if silver is somehow $200 by year end, what's this going to be? If silver's 200, this should be what, 100, 125 or so? Yeah, quite a thought. Royal Gold, much like Franco Nevada, up 19%. Again, gold 5K, maybe this will be 300. SSR mining, I did say last week, structure is a bull flag. It's only up 4.3%. I'm not a fan of this one. There's better miners than this one, but clearly, at some point in theory, this should take out that high from 2011. And Wheaton Precious Metals, 15% new historic high, 135 again. What are we looking at here? 150 to 155, assuming silver's 115 to 120 by March. It's never going under $50 again, is it? Ever. I accept ever is a long time. A couple of minor things. Let's check. Where is it? What do we care about really? Oh yeah, we'll end on this. Gold silver ratio. So we're down to 51. We've collapsed from 100 to 51 as silver's outpacing gold. Um, Historically, 32 is a massively key threshold. That's just how it is. So it's a really important number to keep in mind because yeah, 32. Again, ratios are to be treated with caution because just because this ratio is going down doesn't mean that gold isn't also going up to some degree. Um, but clearly, we should expect silver to outperform gold, arguably for a good 5 to 6 years, in my view. I mean, to be quite blunt, I'm coming around to the notion of silver 500 on a 5 to 6 year outlook, maybe 1,000. $1,000 silver sounds insane, but hey, if you were speaking to me back in 73, um, or 72, or even early 70s, the notion of $1,000 gold by around 1980 would have sounded like crazy talk. But that appears where we go. It appears we're going to go to $1,000 silver with gold, probably at least what 20K, maybe 25K. Again, we're talking 5 6 years out, not like soon. 5 6 years is quite a bit of chunk of time, right? And certainly, if you get silver anywhere above 150, never mind $200 by the end of this year, then silver 1,000 within another 5 years looks very realistic. Of course, then you got to wonder what the price of gasoline will be and the price of bread and other consumer, basic living existence costs, which most people are increasingly finding almost impossible to manage. It is what it is, right? But yeah, I think we'll end on that chart. Well, maybe do we want to end on that chart? Yeah. There's other things I could highlight, but I just don't have the time or the energy. I will leave it at that. And I wish you a good weekend. I'll probably do a few other videos, but for gold, silver, and the miners, we're going up.